Hi there, this is Nikki Rowland, and today I have got a layout for the Scraptember January Stash Bash. My prompt today is crosses, so that is what I'm going to incorporate into this layout today. Um, so um, the Scraptember January Stash Bash is a month of intense memory keeping, and we have a new prompt and a video every single day of January. And the point behind this is to encourage you guys to use up your stash. So in the spirit of that, I am using up my Christmas stash still. So I'm absolutely trying to bash this November kit that I had, and I'm trying to get all of my Christmas photos scrapped. We won't talk about December daily, that's not going particularly well, but so for my normal 12 by 12 scrapbooking is going brilliantly. Okay, so for my prompt crosses, I must admit this threw me slightly. So I have got a stencil. My initial thought was to go for maybe a Valentine style layout and do kisses, so like hugs and kisses. But in the end, I decided to go for Christmas because that's what I really wanted to scrapbook at the moment. Plus, I have no Valentine's stash from this year, which means I would have to buy it, which didn't go in the spirit of stash bashing. So, okay, so I'm going with Christmas. I've gone for a stencil that has crosses all over it, so little plus signs is what I also call them. And I have used a very light pink texture paste through the stencil, and you can see that I've created like a vertical design on the layout using the stencil. So I wanted to have a strip of pattern paper showing at the bottom and a white background at the top. So you can see I've done my crosses there on the white, and also they come all the way down and go onto the pattern paper as well. In between that gap, I've obviously got a torn strip, but I also wanted to add this pom-pom trim, and I decided to do it double, and therefore have alternating pink and red pom-poms, and it actually looks brilliant. They're so close together because of the way that they're interlaced, and I really love the look actually, and the two colours together go really beautifully as well. So this was a really great thing. I really loved doing this, and I love the way that it has turned out, the way it looks. So that's really cool. Really happy with that. So yeah, now I just can put my layout back together. So I need to stick these pieces together, and they need to be 12 inches. So I'm doing that by just using a piece of pattern paper that's 12 inches long as a marker, and I'm doing it on both sides, and every time I line up one side, the other side moves, so that's why I do it about 6 times. But I'm really just trying to make sure that it is 12 inches tall, because of course I've got two separate pieces. Together they equal more than 12 inches, so I need to overlap them and make sure that the total makes 12. Once this was down and I got my photos on, I felt that I needed to add a couple more crosses, so I've just come in with my stencil and just added some more at the top and more at the bottom, and that was to extend my my vertical design of crosses from the top to the bottom of the layout. Okay, so that's pretty much the background of my layout complete. So now I get to do the fun part, which is add the photos and the embellishments. So I have just mounted my photo on the right onto a wood grain effect journaling card, and then I'm mounting my photo on the left on the red gingham. So I was aiming for a soft kind of pink colour scheme for this layout. But I wanted to bring in some red. Obviously I have the red pom-pom trim, and I'm going to add some more red embellishments too. This kit was very red, so I wanted to bring in some more of the red colour. So that's why I mounted my photo. Just adding a frame there, and they're going to add another one as well, so a couple of frames. I rarely use frames for the reason they're intended. I usually frame something, so I normally just use them as layers. So I've just got those two popping out the top of that photo there. I'm planning to use the word magical for my title. I might add another word at some point as well, but these photos are of our local pantomime, which I went to see with my daughter, and we had a really lovely time. So I wanted to scrapbook about that. So I grabbed a photo of the cast from Google, and then the other photo is me and my daughter actually watching the show. So yeah, cool. So I'm just going through my ephemera and embellishments from this kit and pulling out the bits that I want. So the tree up on the right hand side at the moment, you can see there, has got crisscrosses on. So another cross reference for my prompt today, which is crosses. So obviously I've got my crosses in the background, and I'm a bit worried that I'm going to cover them all up, because that's what happens with this mixed media. So I don't end up having as many on show as I would have necessarily liked. So I say I brought in the cross-hatched Christmas tree, the the pattern paper behind my big photo is also gingham, so that goes well with the whole crosses theme as well. I felt I had to take off some of the pom-poms in order to fit my photo on it. It just wasn't sitting right on top of them, so I just cut them off with my scissors and I tucked my photo in between the pom-poms there. I have a nice little area that I can add embellishments to in the middle of my photos there, because it doesn't cover up anybody. So that just brought the embellishments together a bit more as well. So I'm now adding a couple of glittery snowflakes. I had them left over. They're from a cut file that I'd already cut from glitter and cut apart. So I'm just adding a couple. I've just got some loose ones now sitting in my stash, so I thought I'd add a couple of those and just add a little extra bit of sparkle. I do love a bit of sparkle, so that was good for me. So say just putting those in place, and I'm layering up my trees. I wanted to use lots of trees on this layout. I love the red and the pink colours that came in this kit, so I am just pulling out all the bits that kind of go and arranging everything as well. I also wanted to bring in the colour blue or navy, and that's because there was a significant amount of blue in my right hand photo. So I was thinking like adding navy as part of the colour scheme. So rather than pink and red, also add the navy pieces. So there's not a lot of navy left. I used a whole bunch of it on a different layout. But yeah, I'm just going through pulling out the bits that I do want to use. So these ice skates, for example, I'm just tying those through with silver thread at the moment, and I wanted to use silver thread instead of gold because I've used silver glittery snowflakes, so the silver works well here. So just getting those in place, so tying through the silver thread through the top of the ice skate, so it kind of looks like they're being held by their laces. In fact, I end up tying the ends on the back of the layout rather than the ice skates hanging from the thread, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that was that they're in place now, and now I'm just looking at this layout, trying to figure out what else I can put onto it, or if it needs anything more. So I'm obviously expecting to go for a cluster over to the right hand side of my photo, because that area definitely needs something there. But should I extend it towards the left as well? So at this point, I'm not too sure. I'd like to cover up that corner. That bow does that perfectly, because the corner was not flush with the torn edge of the paper, so it had this little gap I didn't like. So I wanted to cover that bit, and then I thought, well, it would be nice to extend the layout horizontally out to go along the paper tear on the line I've got with the pom-poms. So I'm just gathering up a few bits and adding on some more things here, and just getting everything stuck down as I go. So because the main part of my layout is already stuck down, I'm literally just adding bits and pieces. And this is a part of the process that I really always enjoy, just adding a bit more here and there, putting bits on, taking bits off, tucking things under, yeah, I just really enjoy this part of the layout, seeing what else I can squeeze in. So just adding bits and pieces. I did a little navy sticker there that says together. I've got those Christmas stockings. I've added those 2 baubles under the title. I'm now left with a bit of a gap between the baubles and the ice skates. I'm not sure about that, but I'm okay with it. But at this point, I'm kind of not sure. Should I put my journaling in that gap or what? So I think I do end up leaving it in the end. Yeah, still just adding little bits and pieces. I've just realised my title is not stuck down, so just going to get that stuck down now. Because I want to add another word to my title, I had to move that word sticker that just says December traditions, so I had to just move that out of the way. Just stuck down my bow there to give it some, because these bows tend to come apart. The sticky tape doesn't quite hold them in place. I think it's because of the pressure of the design of the bow. They tend to pull apart. So I just stuck that down, adding a little speech bubble at the top there that says "Be merry." We certainly were merry. And now I'm coming in with my next word. So I've gone for a magical show because we want to see a show. However, I realised later I should have added the title magical theatre. So that would have been a play on musical theatre, but too late. I didn't think to do that, and I've already photographed it and done everything, and I'm not going to change it now. So I should have done that. I dreamed that up in my sleep last night, I think. After way too late, of course. So just adding a few more bits of silver thread on the cluster over on the right hand side and on the left as well, and then coming in with some smaller stickers as well. So I added another bauble to the little bauble cluster at the bottom under the title, and now I just want to finish off by adding a few splatters and some sequins. So pulling out my sequin mixes, all the Christmas ones from Spiegelmum, and I've just dotted, taking some from some packs and some from the other. So I'm just pulling out the sequins that work for me. So there wasn't a perfect sequin mix combination for these colours. So I've just pulled out a few white ones, silver ones, pink ones, and yeah, just sprinkling those along the line, going all the way along basically with the sequins, and now I'm going to stick them all down using some glossy accents and my paper piercing tool. I do just literally put a dab of glossy accents on the end of my paper piercing tool, and then just move the sequin out of the way, add some glue, and then put them back in place. So that's the easiest way I find to adhere sequins to my layouts. So yeah, just going around doing all of those. That's a bit of a scattering of sequins there. Yeah, I wanted to, I for once remembered to add my journaling before I added my splatters, because of course once you've added your splatters, then the layout is wet and you can't write on it. So I do that all the time and get really annoyed with myself. So on this occasion, I have remembered to write my journaling first, and I'm going to add my splatters in just a moment. So that's done. I think I'm going to add the dates up here as well. That's right. So I'm sorry about my head there. Dates is in place, and realised that my photo actually wasn't stuck down. So just added some foam pads under the photo to get that stuck in place. And now it's time for some splatters. So I wanted to extend the vertical design with my splatters, but my paintbrush is not behaving itself, and I've ended up with some splatters in places that I shouldn't have. So I'm going to, and then I dabbed my paintbrush totally onto my layout as well. So I ended up with a big red splodge at the bottom. Honestly, I shouldn't do mixed media really. The layout was fine. So I'm just trying to repair the ice paint there, and actually it has all pretty much come off completely. And there's a few splatters over on the right hand side which I didn't really want there. So just try to remove those the best I can. They are still there, unfortunately, but they're fine. So that is me done. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to go along and play along with the Scraptember January Stash Bash. So just get all of your stash used up. Don't forget to look at the YouTube playlist for all the videos in this series, and also join the Scraptember Facebook group. Thanks so much for joining me. That was Niki Rowland for Scraptember.